Extremely humbled and proud of this particular lawn that we have, that we've used it for various activities. And as I said, it's really a historic place that we are all sitting in just now. And our new initiative here is now to convert the entire building, which will actually speak of the times of Maulana Azad. We have thought of cultural pluralism as a thematic component, which we would add certainly very strongly. And that also brings me the reason why I thought that, most of ever since we've moved to the Salt Lake main premise, we've held all our, Maulana Azad Memorial Lecture, as well as many of our mainstream, including our Maulana Azad flagship conferences there. But I thought on this particular occasion, 30th November today, 11th November, of course, is his birthday, and that's usually when we do hold the memorial talk. But given the fact that it fell on festival days, we decided to reschedule it to this. And I'm extremely grateful to Muzaffar Ali Sahab, who agreed to deliver the lecture, because, I was just explaining to them that for many years, we actually kept the lecture, confined to basically historians and academics. But I realized over the years that there's so many others, and, people like Muzaffar Ali who can actually contribute to the same idea of pluralism and nationalism from the kind of expertise that they have. And I thought no better than this particular occasion for him to deliver this Maulana Azad lecture this year.
Almost 120 years back, a marvel was seen by mankind at a Paris cafe. Lumiere brothers, they had shown their few short films through the projector on a big screen. And one of the films was Arrival of the Train, which is a very symbolic arrival of cinema. And after the screening, in the press conference, Lumiere brothers said, well, our job is over. We are scientists and technologists. Now, the artist will come to create its grammar and language. So one of the pioneers who created the language of cinema was, of course, and certainly D.W. Griffith, the great American filmmaker, who made great films like Birth of a Nation, Intolerance, and so many films. I remember reading an article by Griffith. It was written in 1924. Movies 100 years from now, means 2024. He predicted about sound film, because in those days they were all silent. He predicted about sound film, about color, even about 3D, three-dimensional film. But what he predicted, or could have been his utopia, is unbelievable. Or his dream. He said, this new medium is so powerful, which can reach us large masses, which can communicate with common people, which can enthrall common people, is such a medium that will change the entire world. I'm sure that Muzaffar will enlighten us about the moving images and emancipation. Thank you very much.
I think it's a great city, and I think the world has a lot to learn from Calcutta, and it is learning. And more than that, the country has to learn from minds that are ticking here, that are dreaming here. They're looking at brotherhood of man. I'll go a little more detail into what Gautam said about what Griffith predicted. And I've written a structured talk, which I'll probably read out because it follows a certain logic. History is written each day directly on the slate of the human mind through the language of moving images. But the big question is, which history? Today, the world is entirely motivated with the effect and impact of specially designed moving images. Since the inception of this phenomena, the West has engaged itself in its study and evolved a psychological way of structuring this arrangement and juxtaposition of images that create specific meanings for mind. In a provocative verse of Rumi, he says, when you make a home for a chicken, the camel cannot get in. The chicken being the intellect and the heart being a camel. A great, proud and beautiful camel. Thus, it is up to us to make choices. The choice of love is more difficult one to make and live through. My first choice was between art and science, and I wanted to be as near art as possible. I had studied science in the midst of poets, and now I wanted to pursue my heart, though not trained at that. Armed with poetry of change and a dream to make a difference, I arrived on the intellectually, artistically and commercially fertile soil of Calcutta to work in Clarion Advertising Services in 1966. It was here I was exposed to a new mercantile culture of multinationals, managing agencies and corporate giants, trying to Indianize themselves through the ingenuity and optimism of advertising, which proudly claims that nothing was impossible. And in this highly commercial milieu, I met Satyajit Ray, who was the art director of the company I joined. I saw how meticulously and artistically he worked on his film thoughts. It was here that I felt the emerging grammar of the language of moving images and their power to express and empower an ethos. Today, we can reach out to millions with an idea. There is a growing convergence of imagery and imagination. One needs to perceive and react to these emerging possibilities with the purity of the soul and the optimism of a childlike mind. Thank you. So this was basically what I wrote out, and I think I can share it with you. But it's today very, very important that we understand the whole genesis of what communication means, and we need to ideate with people from different parts of the country. People like Gautam Ghose, they come with a rich heritage, they come with a very charged struggle, focused struggle. I mean, Calcutta is very rich in this matter, and so are different other parts of the country. But it's really an uphill task, and how to change the situation to at least make India proud is a big challenge for us. And all we can do is dream, and we can hope in what a child can do, or what we can do for the child, to make him dream, to make him a crusader in media. Today we don't need experts in media, we need crusaders, because then what happens is that after the child has done he's reached 19 or 20, he's grabbed by some multinational and he's given an agenda, okay, you have to follow this. I think that's a very important time when at least the really good talent should be allowed to go further and just become activists, to become reformers, to look at how this new medium, this versioning medium can make a difference. And I think we need to make children, young minds, think with their heart, make them feel how to create concepts, how to arrive at ideas. And today, the sky's the limit, and anything can be done. But how to get people's attention is a big thing. So thank you very much, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
What do you say about the eminent personalities returning awards? And many people have been questioning that, saying that it's a manufactured movement and all that. So what's your take on the entire matter, sir?
So when you look at intolerance, it's a much bigger issue. It is not a sporadic thing, So I think for people like us, we have to reflect. We have to go deep into the whole ethos of intolerance, the history of intolerance, and see the symptoms of intolerance, whether they're growing and why they're growing. And we need to come out with creative solutions. I cannot make any statements. Intolerance is not a new thing.
Today, you can create images, even on your mobile. I mean, the mobile lenses are powerful enough you can shoot a movie like that. So the cost becomes unimportant. And if you are young and creative, you can use any medium and create something. I mean, whether it's mobile, whether it's at 5D or D5, doesn't matter. But you can today create something and present it to the world. That is the real scope. And I think that the schools should have a regular channel or regular course on this creative medium, the films, the moving images, as strong, or perhaps stronger than mathematics, stronger than English, stronger than geography, history, everything. That should what happen to the nation. I think everywhere. If you did that, there would be a true revolution to my mind. Thank you.
It is in our hands, but a certain process of thinking is very important. How do you make people feel from their heart? That is what my issue is, you know. If you don't make people feel from their heart, if they're only playing mind games or hate games, it's very easy to make images viral. But the point is that it's not how, it's what, you know. What are you trying to say? You know, is it humanizing the world or not? That's my little point that I tried to make, and I tried to describe the genesis of moving images. What we understood when we were working in advertising, we realized that we were like a cat's paw, you know. What could we do? We were told to do this, we were told to do that, and we had nothing. The moment any Indian advertising agency came into existence, it was knocked out of existence.
We are talking about changing the mindset of the people. I mean, how can the role of the parallel cinema can enhance its impact on the mindset of the people?
I think the Indian audience is not enough to sustain the cost of a cinema. You see the Western cinema, when they go global, they touch upon very, it might be injected with their own propaganda, but it's done very sensitively. It's almost on the lines of an art film. And we've seen our art movement getting lost in the process. हम लोगों का तो कारवान लुट चुका है. But nevertheless, we haven't lost hope. We still dream. And Bollywood is a big monster. I think Bollywood, we should shift good filmmaking to Calcutta. And with this, I hand it over to...
Well, you know, it's a question, you know, always, you know, we have been wondering about how one section of the industry has conquered the entire country, which has many languages, diverse culture and all that. People are making films in different languages, and films are getting sort of acclaimed all over the world. Where people, the way when Pathir Pacheli was shown in Cannes, nobody knew much about Indian cinema. And you know, I still remember what advice given by Renoir to Ray. Don't look for too many elements. Try to focus on some element which is close to your soil. That's our strength, you know. And we have to make films which will reflect your culture, your ethos, your history, and also your composite culture. That is very, very important. And you know, all our great thinkers, they tried to do that. Even the great Prince Dara Shikoh, he had written a book called Majma'ul-e-Baharin, means mingling of two oceans, combining Upanishad and Quran together. Unbelievable book. So people tried, and you know, it's as Muzaffar said about tolerance. Intolerance is not a new thing. It's been there in our society. That's why we got great people like Kabir, like Nanak, like many Sufi saints, like Lalan. So we have to understand that layer, and we have to sort of give hope to our young people that look, there's such a beauty, such joy, such ecstasy, such human conditions in their ideas and in their philosophy. That's there, you know. Still, I'm very hopeful because, you know, it's a multi-layered country where you find 17, 18, 19, 20, 21st century flowing together. So that's a great hope.
Tolerance and intolerance is a line similar to in a football match. When you do a foul, they put a line. But it vanishes. It is for each occasion. So every man or every nation has its own tolerance and intolerance line. I hope you will play a vital role in helping all those that are misdirected, that are going in the wrong direction, and those of them who should find the real things of life. So you have a very, very vital role to play in the life, our lives, in the lives of our country. Thank you.
In the realm of creativity, where all the destinations are illusionary, you should have the capacity to roam and not find your destination ever in your life.
Thank you very much. With this great note of hope, we conclude this session. And of course, we have to look for beauty. We have to look for great things in life. So I'm so happy. Thank you very much, Muzaffar. Thanks a lot for all of you to join us.